Hello friends, we are once again back to our discussion of acquaintances in paper CC 101 in semester 1 special English. I, Dr. Mukund Revdiwala, once again welcome you to this discussion of acquaintances, which we are almost half the way. Up till now, we have discussed two acquaintances and uploaded the videos of the both. The first acquaintance that I discussed with you people was about Michael Montaigne, the first ever essayist in world literature. Michael Montaigne belonged to France. He was a French essayist. After Michael Montaigne, we find a liking for essay writing in England get developing, and in England the first ever essayist, first ever contributor in the field of essay was Francis Bacon. We have discussed about him in detail. Both the videos are available on your website, your college website. You can go to the website, you can download the videos, you can watch the videos on YouTube as well. Even these videos are present on YouTube under my name Mukund Revdiwala. So you can go to those videos. It will be helpful to you in understanding the topics whenever you wish to. Now we move forward to the discussion of another essayist, English essayist, an essayist who thrived in Romantic revival. So let's move to the discussion of the third essayist in our acquaintances. The name of the essayist is Charles Lamb. So I'm taking you to that slide of Charles Lamb. Let's move to that. So here is the picture of Charles Lamb, and you can see the dates of his birth and death. Charles Lamb was born in 1775 and he died in 1834. So we can say that he lived a life of some 60 years. Charles Lamb, he is an English essayist and he belonged to the period called Romantic Revival. Now at this time I would like to draw your attention to this word Romantic Revival. When you are studying another paper and you are studying Elizabethan age, you will be told that you are studying Romantic age. Okay. That Romantic age was during 16th and 17th century. Majority of the years in Romantic age belong to the later half of 16th century, and a decade, we can say some years, not even a decade, some 5 years of 17th century can be added to the time of Romantic age. But that was original Romantic age, which is also called Elizabethan age. This essayist belongs to not that original Elizabethan age. He belongs to the Romantic revival, that is coming back of the Romantic age. Once again a new kind of Romantic age, and this Romantic age was dominated by the poets like Wordsworth, Shelley, Coleridge, Byron, Arnold, and etc. others. So among these Romantic writers, we find the name of Charles Lamb. He was a very good essayist. Apart from being an essayist, he has tried his hand on other literary forms as well. Now this essayist Charles Lamb, he wrote the essays under the pen name Elia. What is pen name? In Hindi it is called takhallus, or in Gujarati you can say ઉપનામ. તો એક તખલ્લુસથી પોતાના નિબંધો લખતા હતા ચાર્લ્સ લેમ, and that pen name was Elia. He is famous for his informal, rambling comments on commonplace life with touches of fantastic humor and pathos. So, it's a combination of two opposite aspects of writing. He can handle humor as well as pathos. When we talk about Charles Lamb, two essays written by Charles Lamb come to my mind. One is Dream Children a Reverie, and second one is A New Year's Eve. Now, when you read the essays of Charles Lamb, you find some lighter moments and some sad moments of life as well. I would share with you something about A Dream Children, a Reverie. In that essay, Dream Children, a Reverie, the essayist talks about his children who are not born. So they are the children of his dream. The author was in love with a lady, but he could not marry her. And one day he is thinking of that life which has not occurred in real life, but he thinks that this life could have happened. So sometimes he presents such essays which are full of humor, but along with the humor they have some touches of a brush of sadness. Let's talk about his life. You will understand why the person was more on the sad side than on some lighter side. You will understand when you come to know about the life of Charles Lamb. Charles Lamb was born in London and educated at Christ Hospital. Now, Christ Hospital is not the name of a hospital. In fact, it was a school, and it was a co-education school, so the boys and the girls could study together. It was a school with boarding house as well, and the school was located in Horsham in West Sussex County of England. It was a charity school, and the school meant for the education of the children who are from poor background. So, this Christ Hospital School was a school run by a charitable trust, and Charles Lamb got his school education from that school. One of his schoolmates and lifelong friend was the poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge. While talking about the writers of Romantic Revival, I gave you the name of Coleridge. And this, one of the great poets of Romantic Revival, S.T. Coleridge, was a close friend of Charles Lamb. At this juncture, I would like to tell you that S.T. Coleridge, in collaboration with the greatest ever nature poet William Wordsworth, contributed a very good poetic work, a collection of poems titled The Lyrical Ballads. And that book of poems, The Lyrical Ballads, which came to the people after its publication in 1798. And this year, 1798, therefore, is regarded as the beginning of romantic revival. So the collection of poem was so powerful that it marked the beginning of romantic revival. Anyway, that was something about S.T. Coleridge. We shall get time to discuss S.T. Coleridge whenever you have S.T. Coleridge in your syllabus. Anyway, we move ahead. Lamb was a clerk in the accounting department of the East India House, London, from 1792 to 1825. So he served as a clerk at an office in East India Company, East India House, London. In 1796, Charles Lamb's sister Mary Ann Lamb, under temporary madness, killed their mother. So let me tell you something about Charles Lamb's life. Charles Lamb was one of the three children of their parents. Charles Lamb had a brother named John Lamb and a sister named Mary Lamb. Now, both Charles and Mary, they had some psychological problems, and sometimes in the fit of that madness, they could become very fatal. One day it happened that Mary Lamb, sister of Charles Lamb, she went to her mother for something in the kitchen, and she was told to go out of the kitchen. So Mary Lamb, maybe under a fit of that madness, got very angry, and she attacked her mother with a kitchen knife, and her mother was killed there on the spot. So this was a tragedy that took place in the life of Charles Lamb. Now when this took place, when this kind of accident happened, John, the brother of Charles Lamb, he told that their sister should be sent to a mental hospital. But it was Charles Lamb who said that no, he will bear the responsibility of his sister whole of his life, and he volunteered to take care of his sister. Mary was elder to Charles, so he was ready to take care of his sister, and that is how Charles Lamb sacrificed the whole of his life. He did not marry anybody, even though he was in love with a lady, and that is why the essay that I talked about just a few minutes earlier, Dream Children, a Reverie, is related to that beloved of Charles Lamb and those children which were not born. Okay. So to prevent his sister from being committed to a mental asylum, because his own brother, John Lamb, was in favor of sending their sister to mental asylum, a hospital. But Lamb had himself appointed her guardian and cared for her the rest of his life. So Lamb volunteered to help his sister for the whole of the life. This is the cottage, the house where Lamb lived. Lamb himself, let me tell you, Lamb himself was a patient of a psychic illness. And even he had to go to the hospital, stay there for 6 weeks during the year 1795. But Charles Lamb was more attached to his sister, Mary Lamb. It was Mary Lamb who taught Charles Lamb to read in his earlier years. Charles Lamb had certain other problems as well. Charles Lamb was attacked by smallpox. આપણે જેને ઓરી કે અછબડા કહીએ છીએ એવો એમને રોગ થયો હતો નાનપણમાં, અને એના કારણે એમને ખેંચ આવવાના હુમલા પણ થતા હતા. But in that way, we can say that the life of Charles Lamb was not so happy or full of happiness during the earlier years. Now, let's talk about his career. Charles Lamb's literary career included the writing of poetry, plays, and literary criticism. As I told you earlier, that he is known for his essays, he is known as an essayist. Okay, but it was not that essays were the only form that Charles Lamb tried. No, he tried his hand, and that too successfully, on poetry writing, writing of plays, and even contributed to the field of literary criticism, which is not everyone's cup of tea. His popular work, Tales from Shakespeare, was written in collaboration with his sister and appeared in 1807. Now, you have heard the name of William Shakespeare, and we know that he has written some 37, 38 plays, both combining both tragedies and comedies. But it was Charles Lamb who compiled the works of Shakespeare, the long, lengthy drama of Shakespeare, into short tales, stories, and compiled them into one book. And that book was named Tales from Shakespeare. He wrote this book, Tales from Shakespeare, in collaboration with his sister Mary, and the book came to publication, came to the people in 1807. You will see the poster page of Tales from Shakespeare in the next slide. Lamb's reputation as a critic was established by his specimens of English dramatic poets who lived about the time of Shakespeare. This is a very long title, but the title is about the work of criticism that Charles Lamb contributed, and this book, Specimens of English Dramatic Poets Who Lived About the Time of Shakespeare, it got published in 1808. His most important literary work, however, consists of the essays he contributed to the London Magazine between 1820 and 1825. So this is something that earned him a very good repute. He used to contribute essays in a magazine. You are watching one very popular drama on Hindi TV channels, na? You are watching તારક મહેતા કા ઉલ્ટા ચશ્મા. તમને ખબર છે અત્યારે જે સિરિયલ જુઓ છો એ સિરિયલના જે ઓરિજિનલ એપિસોડ્સ હતા એ ગુજરાતી મેગેઝિનમાં ચિત્રલેખાની અંદર વર્ષો સુધી દર ચિત્રલેખામાં જે ખરેખર તારક મહેતા સાહેબ હતા તેમના દ્વારા દર અંકમાં એક એપિસોડ આવતો હતો. હવે તો આપણી પાસે ટીવી ચેનલની અંદર દરરોજ નવા એપિસોડ છે, અને હવે તારક મહેતા સાહેબ રહ્યા પણ નથી, એટલે હવે જે પણ નવા એપિસોડ આવે છે એના બનાવનારાઓની કલ્પના હોઈ શકે. પણ આગળ જતાં તારક મહેતાના ઉલ્ટા ચશ્માના જે બધા અંક હતા અને જે વાર્તાઓ હતી કે એપિસોડ્સ હતા એની એક પુસ્તક બન્યું, અને પુસ્તકો ઘણા બધા બને અને એ લોકો ગુજરાતીમાં વંચાય છે. Same way, the essays which were contributed by Charles Lamb in London Magazine between 1820 and 1825. So he contributed his essays for almost 6 years to that magazine. But these magazines later on, these essays later on were compiled into a book. So they were published in book form as Essays of Elia. If you remember, in the very first slide, I told you that Charles Lamb wrote under the pen name of Elia. So that was his pen name, and that is why the book, which was a compilation of the essays, was named Essays of Elia. He did not say Essays of Lamb, it was called Essays of Elia, and that came in 1823. And then another compilation was named Last Essays of Elia, and that came some 10 years later, that was in 1833. And these essays established Charles Lamb as a very good essayist in English literature, and he made his mark in Romantic revival, in the age of Romantic revival. These are the two posters, or rather we can say fronts of two great books by Charles Lamb. One is Tales from Shakespeare, I told you, and another one is Essays of Elia. These two works earned him a very good reputation. Charles Lamb, a brilliant conversationalist. This is the quality that Charles Lamb had. He could easily establish a rapport, a friendship with somebody. He could easily talk to the people and discuss certain things. So he was a brilliant conversationalist. सारो बातचीत करनार हता. He belonged to a circle of important contemporary writers that included Coleridge, as we know, he was a very close friend of him. William Hazlitt, another essayist that we are going to discuss later on. Leigh Hunt, Robert Southey, and the great nature poet William Wordsworth. So these were the great writers of Romantic revival, and Charles Lamb belonged to the group of such elite writers. Lamb's literary criticism was often perceptive and original. As far as his literary criticism is concerned, his style of literary criticism is concerned, he was perceptive. By perceptive, we can mean that the person, that Charles Lamb was interested in observing the thing and writing or giving his opinions on the basis of his observations. જે કંઈ જોવે એના આધારે એ પોતે વિવેચન કરતા હતા, અને બીજું કે he was original in his writings. So in that way, Charles Lamb was somewhat different from other critics in the Romantic age and even earlier. He had a particular gift for analyzing character, and his sensitivity and perceptiveness made him a valuable critic and friend. So his perceptiveness was so powerful that whenever he met somebody, whenever he saw a character, whenever he read about a character in somebody's book, then he could perceive the plus and minus or pros and cons of that particular character, and then he would opine on the basis of his own thinking. So he was very good at analyzing the character. He was very good at analyzing the sensitivity of the character, and this could be possible because of his able perceptiveness. એની સારી ઓબ્ઝર્વેશનની, અવલોકનની શક્તિના કારણે કોઈ પણ પાત્ર, જીવંત કે પછી સાહિત્યના પાત્રને સારી રીતે મૂલ્યાંકન કરી શકતા હતા અને એમના વિશે એમની સંવેદના વગેરેને સમજી શકતા હતા. Some of his best writings were in letters to his friends. See, generally we write letters for certain selfish concerns. But sometimes when these authors wrote, their letters might be having certain issues regarding their lives. But these letters later on were considered to be very good pieces of literature. So he wrote many letters to his friends, and these letters later on were considered to be very valuable pieces of literature. Charles Lamb had a very good career but not very good personal life. As I told you, he had to suffer a lot just because of some family problems, because of the madness that he saw uh, in his sister. Even he himself was a patient of madness, but that was for a shorter period, so he could control himself. This man, his death was also not that peaceful. One day, while he was walking out somewhere, and he fell down. He got himself injured, especially on his face. चेहरा ऊपर कहीं वाग्યું. And this injury caught an infection. So it worsened, and the man died on 27th December 1834. So this is how a very great, or very good rather I would say, uh, essayist passed away from the literary arena, from life. This is the gravestone of Charles Lamb. This is the place where Charles Lamb was buried, and let me tell you that both the graves, both the brother and the sister, they were buried in the same place. It was a sad end to a very glorifying career of an essayist, but the life was something that can always give a sadness to the readers. I hope you have understood the acquaintance. I just advise you to read, to rather go through this YouTube video again and again, so that you can understand what I want to say. One more thing I would like to tell you: if you have any problem, then you can contact us. All our phone numbers are available on the college website or on our college application. You can ask us telephonically, so not to worry about those things. And if you find this YouTube videos okay and they are helpful to you, then just like them. Okay, thank you. We shall meet for the discussion of another essayist in the next video. Thank you. Goodbye.